Gemini Man is changing how you watch movies, but it's not for everybody. Okay, I'm usually driving when I do my reviews, but this review is going to be a little complicated because there's a lot of technology that they use in this movie that I kind of want to talk about. Not too much in great length, but here goes. So, Gemini Man was shot in 4K 3D at 120 frames per second. Now, film is usually shot 24 frames per second, and we'll get into it later as far as why it's both groundbreaking, but also if you like the cinema look, you won't be that happy about it. The movie is directed by Life of Pi director Ang Lee, starring Will Smith ×2, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Clive Owen. Will Smith is Harry. He's a retired government assassin, but somebody will not let him just walk away. Someone's after him. And I'm not spoiling anything by saying we know who it is. It's a Will Smith lookalike, but a younger version. So how can that be? We don't know. I won't spoil it here, but I think we pretty much know how that's possible. But I'll leave it at that. If you watch the trailer, I actually would have preferred if they hadn't revealed that. I think it would have been a nice discovery in the movie, but they're playing up the whole digital aspect, the fact that Will Smith plays a younger version of himself, and he's actually not there. It's a digital CGI character. Much in the same way that Ang Lee in Life of Pi, they created a tiger out of CGI, and it looked really real. I thought it was a tiger, so it looks really good. And in this case, it's a human, so it's the first occasion where a human is totally CGI. So we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, this movie is a complicated one to talk to because there's two aspects about this movie. There's the story, and there's the technological advances that they used to shoot this movie. And I'll talk about the story first. So the story was pretty paint by numbers. There was no real surprises. Like I mentioned earlier, we know for a fact that there's somebody who looks like Will Smith, Harry, but a younger version. So we can almost pretty much tell what that is and why that is. So I won't get into it. So basically, it plays out like any other action movie. There's no real big surprises. As far as the story, there is some dialogue that was very on the nose, and so people laughed in the movie theater. So it wasn't the best dialogue for some of these scenes. What I did like about it was Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. I figured she was gonna play a typical female role in an action movie, but she held her own. She's pretty badass on her own, and she didn't need anybody to rescue her. So I really liked that about the script, that she was a really strong character, and when she needed help, she just got herself out of it. I like it. So I can't complain about that one. Now the other aspect is the technical feats of this movie. Will Smith's younger version looked amazing, and we watched it in 3D. I am not a fan of 3D. I do like certain things in 3D, like Avatar 3D was amazing. That was the best experience I've had as far as 3D. So was How to Train Your Dragon, but that's animated. I thought those movies were just absolutely beautiful to watch in 3D. So in this movie, the 3D is actually really good. It kind of gives you that sense of a virtual reality feel, minus the 360 view. But it gave you that. And Will Smith's younger version was really good, and they got the eyes right. My main issue with CGI characters when they de-age them is they can't get the eyes right. The eyes always look really weird. But in this one, they really got it, and they captured the innocence of a younger person in his eyes. So that was very amazing. It was true. It looked like an actual person there, but they're not there. So that looked really amazing, except for a scene at the end. And someone explained to me that perhaps it's because it takes place in the day. The other scenes there were some in the day, but you don't see up close, the face up close. But in the day scene, he does look a little off. The eyes look a little weird. The motion of him turning looks a little weird in the daytime. So you can't hide much when you shoot something, I guess, in the day. They should have thought of that. They should have made it early evening. So that was my only issue with the CGI human in that scene. But otherwise, it looked perfect. However, my other complaint is the action. Because they did shoot it in 4K, well, not so much in 4K. It has to do with the 120 frames per second. Now, to me, I don't like the video look, and that's what you get with 120 frames. As I mentioned before, film is shot in 24 frames. And digital cameras, you can play with the frames, but you get a different effect. So the action scenes, they did look too video-y, and also my issue with it is that there was this, I don't think it's a motion blur, I call it motion blur, it's not motion blur. I think they call it, what do they call it here? Let me see, judder. So the action scenes definitely have something that really bothered me about it. You can tell it's CGI because the movements are not natural, especially when it comes to the CGI character, the younger Will Smith character. And that really bothered me because I like to see, CGI bothers me when it doesn't look normal or doesn't look natural. And a lot of the action scenes, you get that. And I'm talking about the action scenes where the CGI human is involved. The action scenes without the CGI human, I can't remember. I don't think they bothered me as much, but it seemed like, this judder kind of movement to it, and it really took me out of the movie. Some people, they said they didn't notice it, but that's one of my pet peeves. Have you ever gone to like Best Buy or a place that sells TVs, and they have tons of TVs on, and they're displaying a movie, but the movie looks like video? My husband, who does home theater systems, he says they call it the soap opera effect, because the TV setting, or he says LCD TVs usually have a setting of 120 frames per second, which is why you get that video look. So you have to go in the TV and change the setting for a cinematic look. So for us old folks, speaking of me, and some other people I talked to, we were just not feeling that look. Although it did look, the other parts did look spectacular. The action, well, for me, the action movement, the action scenes totally threw me out of the movie, because I just noticed things that I don't like to notice when I'm watching movies and with any CGI movie. And some people didn't mind it. There were older people who didn't mind it. But I think the younger generation who are used to virtual reality and video games, I think they're going to get a kick out of it. Because you get that same feeling when watching this film, but it's not going to be for everybody. I watched it in 3D. I actually want to see it. I don't want to pay though. I want to see it just in regular format without the 3D glasses, to see if you can still get that motion blur or whatever they call it, this judder effect, because I'm really curious. I want to see if it makes a big difference. And for those who don't like 3D, I probably wouldn't recommend it in 3D because it's annoying at times. And you have to, it's almost like your eyes have to adjust. That's why it would take me out of the movie, because my eyes would have to adjust. The glasses were really, really heavy. They were really annoying me. And people who wear glasses, like me, who wore the glasses over their spectacles, said they had a really hard time with it. I took mine off because I don't need it to, if I have 3D glasses, I don't need it because I'm nearsighted. So 3D is perfect. I don't need my glasses. But still, it was a big pain in the booty. I think my nose still hurts from holding those glasses. But yeah, the glasses were not comfortable. And maybe that ruined my experience too. I don't know. I mean, otherwise, it's a good action flick. I mean, it's predictable. Very, very predictable. I think they probably spent too much on the technical side of it than actual story, because it felt like it was second fiddle. But like I said, it is groundbreaking, and the fact that it's a CGI human, and he looked really, really good. The eyes, they got it right finally. So hopefully other people will use that tech, because you still see it where they don't capture somebody's eyes when they de-age them. So hopefully this is another advancement in that aspect. So based on what I said, let me know in the comments below if you're going to be checking it out, and whether you're going to be watching it in 3D or on a regular screen.